What's going on, guys? It's Carroll from MyMMAnews.com and Carroll's Corner MMA podcast. Today I'm joined by Justin Yodice, who is now venturing into a new business that he's going to talk about. He's an MMA fighter. He's fought on, I believe it was Triton Fights, and I don't know if you fought on
Aggressive
ACC.
combat.
Yeah, okay, it was aggressive combat. So, Justin, how you been? Tell us what you've been up to lately.
Well, I try to stay pretty busy for myself. To be honest, the last couple of years, I've just been just cranking it, trying to learn how to, invest, whether it's, in the new crypto wave or stock market and whatnot, as well as focusing a lot of time into coaching just because it's a big passion of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Coming up from wrestling, it gave me so much. So I want to give back. And I learned a lot through the sport. And I just, for me, it means a lot just to be able to coach at the middle school level and the high school level. So I've been primarily focusing on that. And then just recently, I decided to take my apparel supplement company a little more forward. And I just came out with my own pre-workout. Dropped a couple of weeks ago.
Speaking about pre-workout, you got some right here you sent to me, which I
There it
appreciate
is.
very much. The name of the company is Get Yoked Ironside. Now the stuff is pretty good actually. I've been doing a little bit because I don't drink a whole lot of coffee or anything like that, so I've been doing a little bit, but I can definitely see a difference in going working out and stuff. Tell us a little bit about the product, why you decided to make it.
Very simply, my whole mindset, I'm very business oriented. So for me, I wanted to learn how to run a business properly, from the ground up, talk to manufacturers, be able to articulate whatever I'm trying to market out to, peers, potential customers, whatever. And for me, I was trying to find a market where it's a low risk, and something that I understood very well. And coming from my background, from wrestling, now MMA, I even bodybuilded years. I've done a lot of things, and just my whole nutritional background, and just I thought that was a niche market where I could be very successful because I know what I'm doing and I know how to make it better. And that's in turn being more transparent and providing people with healthy alternatives to supplementation.
Well, and we were speaking to you on the phone last week. You're talking about healthy supplement substitution for some of the stuff that's out there, and I'm not too familiar. I've never really used supplements. They're not really something I've been into, but a lot of people I know complain about the stuff that's in them. You hear about MMA fighters and all athletes getting hit for drug tests because there's something in the supplements they're using. Tell us exactly what you guys put into it, why you went the road you went.
Yeah, so to be completely honest, this this pre-workout was in the making for well over a year. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of different testing went through, just getting everything correct. My whole thing with it was I'm very transparent. I personally, I'll tell you right now, I don't take supplements aside from protein and BCAAs. So my goal, as I said, to kind of pave the way for my ideology, what I want to bring to the table, I wanted to make something in the form of a pre-workout that I would want to take, me personally. So what I did was I took a list of ingredients that I feel are beneficial and they have purpose and they have a lot of research backing them, and I put them together. And what I did was, on my website, you'll actually find that I'm very transparent with what I put in it. There's a reason behind everything. I'll tell you why we put it in there and what it does for you. And I'll back everything with references, abstracts, and the whole 9 yards. And then for me, like we were talking before, for athletes, I actually do take this pre-workout right before I train with Keith Trumbull in Belmore. So this gets me through his workouts. But my biggest thing is obviously with the whole USADA, WADA, and everything, it's a big question mark on what you can take, and there's a lot of tainted supplements. I'm very transparent. These ingredients, they're not flagged by WADA. You should always go the extra mile as an athlete to go to your sanctioning body and, present, hey, I'm taking this supplement. Would you guys want to sample, see what it's about, or, just give them a little heads up. I think the whole thing is transparency. If you're communicating very well, then, there's not that, if I'm communicating to you that I'm taking this supplement, I'm taking this, and then, God forbid it's like tainted or whatever, at least it's documented that you took it and they tested it. So if maybe there was just a bad batch of, say, beta alanine or something, there's something else in it, they can flag that and be like, hey, it was in there. And then that's clean cut. But what happens is a lot of fighters, they're not really, a lot of these companies, they just kind of want money, and they try to look for these athletes. They'll sponsor them, they'll give them money, they'll give them free supplements, and they really don't help them in the, the respect. Like a lot of people, the people that, I train at Belmore, we have top fighters there that are in the UFC and whatnot. How many of the companies that are helping all of them go the extra mile and like understand that they do that for a living? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can screw them over if they're in a fight camp and they do something unknowingly, and now they can't fight for an extended amount of time. They have bills to pay and like to do all this stuff. So my biggest thing is transparency. And to be 100% honest with you, like I said before, I wouldn't necessarily recommend somebody to take a pre-workout if they don't need it. If they do take pre-workout and it's something that interests them, then I'm going to provide what I believe is a great product for them. That's, what I'm about in turn.
That's awesome. And we're talking about the Get Yoked company. I love how on the label you guys made it look like a belt. I thought that was pretty sweet. I thought that was a nice little touch to it. And then on the back, you also talked about how you can see on the label how you guys are donating a portion of the profits to first responders and stuff. And I think that's pretty cool, because I think that's definitely something that gets overlooked, and especially in today's day and age, kind of thrown to the side and just taken for granted. So tell us why you guys decided to do that and take the profits instead of, a lot of people greedy, and like you was talking about, they just want the money, they don't care about the athletes. But you guys are not only helping out the athletes, but you're giving back to the community as well.
Yeah, I mean, I believe everybody should do their part. Me personally, after we get off of this podcast or live chat, I'm actually going to the Comac ambulance, where I ride the ambulance.
Oh, cool.
Every Sunday night and stuff. So I volunteer myself. My brother is FDNY. He's a firefighter in the Bronx. I'm very passionate when it comes to first responders. I follow that whole wave, and coming from my friends out in the military that are overseas right now and whatever they're doing, I appreciate everything. And I feel a lot of people, they don't realize how great they have it. Even if you have it pretty bad, there's always somebody that has it worse. And if I'm able to give back in any way that I could, and a lot of people see all the time, I give up my time a lot to help people. I'll give, free nutrition advice or a workout advice. I'll help train people. I'll coach for free. When I started my coaching career, I volunteered at Comac High School for 3 years before I was offered a position, say middle school, or, working closely with the high school. So I have a passion for giving back, and I think that's huge. Whatever you can give to help better somebody, I'm all about that. And it's a big part of who I am. So I wanted to incorporate. I want anybody that knows me, my company is a reflection of myself. So you should expect my company will give back in just the way that I give back to others as well. It's directly correlated to me, and I want people to understand that. So that's why I'm very passionate about it. I think it's important to be, deep rooted, and that's, like I said, it's my passion. So I'm going to make sure I can give back in any way, and any kind of contribution I can make, I'm going to do it.
Definitely. And I love the fact that you're talking about coaching, you're passionate about it as well, and you're translating a lot of that into your business as well. I coach high school football, have coached high school wrestling in the past. Very passionate about coaching as well. What are some things that's translated over from coaching high school sports to work in your business? Because I don't think people realize how much management there really is in coaching, and that translates over into a business atmosphere.
Yeah, it's funny. I just, my friend Damien, I was having a conversation with his brother the other day. Wrestling by far, and I don't think you get this from many other sports, but I think you'll agree with me. I got so much from it, just mentality wise. There has nothing, I haven't been challenged yet in a way that wrestling has challenged me physically and mentally. When I think about the grind of like, say, like a wrestling match opposed to like fighting in a cage, nobody understands it. Like, say you're standing, you're fighting with somebody. If you wanted to, you can back out, kind of pump up a couple of jabs, do whatever. But in a wrestling match, you're going 100% for 6 minutes. And a lot of people don't understand that. And that does something to you. Sure, it's a physical thing, but if you think about it mentally and what you endure, and then you think you wanted to give up 5 minutes ago, but here you are, like 30 seconds left on the clock, and you're still going 100%, it changes you. And I think in a business aspect, the real world, you kind of have to be, willing to go 100%, and you have to commit, and you have to understand the risks that are associated with it. Through the people who have coached me and Kings Park, Comac, I've been fortunate enough to have that instilled in me that if I work hard towards something, there's nothing I can't achieve. And, I'm willing to show it in any way, no matter what I do. If it's a supplement company, if I want to fight. When years ago, somebody told me I couldn't bodybuild, so I did that. So I'm just constantly, whatever challenge you're going to put in front of me, I'm going to go 100%. And I got that from wrestling.
Awesome. Now, tell us a little bit of some of the goals you want for this company. Get Yoked. You have a few products out there. It's a clothing line. Now you got a supplement out there. Do you plan on making more supplements, different varieties, or are you planning on extending the clothing line? Where do you guys want to go with this, and how far are you willing to take it?
Yeah, so I'm willing to make it as big as it wants to get. To the same token, I have a bunch of goals, and I don't try to lose sight of that. Right now, I'm focusing on the pre-workout. It's kind of like, in a sense, my baby, so I have to make sure I take care of it, and I can't get ahead of myself and look towards making new products. Don't get me wrong, we have a bunch of products laid out, some awesome stuff that we're working on. But to be realistic, I want to get in a couple more stores and then make those announcements in time and see how it goes. So far, it's been out a long time. I haven't really made any like crazy official announcement, but the feedback's been great and I'm very happy about it. I kind of wanted to reimagine what a pre-workout should be and how it should feel. And I think I might have done that successfully. I wasn't looking to make something that makes you stimmed out and just crash and get the jitters. This is something that's supposed to feel clean, and it basically challenges you. So it's basically as effective as you make it. So depending on the intensity at which you work out, this pre-workout will bring you that extra mile. And I'm proud of that. And to fully answer your question, I do plan to expand the apparel. I plan to expand on the supplements. But right now, primary is just getting this bad boy going.
That's awesome. Now, for background, I know some people know about how the Get Yoked name came about. Ironside came about. I don't know if that's something you want to share. Would you be interested in sharing, like how the names of both the company and the product came about?
100%. We'll bring it back all the way back to the glory days in high school. So in high school, I've had, like I said, I've had some great coaches, and I think that's really what made me who I am. As much as, I've read the sport of wrestling has given me so much. I really got a lot from the coaches. And one coach in particular, his name was Richard Pellegrini. Mm-hmm. Anybody you ask for my team is super passionate. This guy is just phenomenal. Nobody, and, as coaching now, I know a lot of coaches. I've been around the sport a long time. I haven't really met somebody as passionate as him. He had this drive to him, and he was very motivating. And that's kind of something I pride myself in now when I coach. I try to deliver that type of passion at the middle school and the high school level. But back in high school, he used to always motivate us. He used to always, whether it was like a corny Game of Thrones type of quote or just his little sayings. But one in particular, he always like threw it back, was like the whole like get yoked thing. And he would try to get us like amped up. And he used to always say like these catchphrases. And get yoked, to me, it's stuck a lot because, you hear it every day in the room. You're getting motivated. You're out there grinding. You're trying to achieve whatever your goal is for the season. And for me, it stuck. So I liked the name. I thought it was awesome. So as kind of like a little joke, I guess, in 2013, I made like tank tops just for, whoever wanted it as an inside joke. We're all jacked up like high schoolers, fresh out of wrestling and whatnot. So I started selling the not for profit, but just, basically breaking even on the tank tops, and it was just like kind of like a joke. But people are like, this is pretty sweet. Like it looked pretty good. It looked great, whatever. And then for years, I didn't really do anything with it because, like I said, it was just the phrase and whatnot. And then it started snowballing. Little things. It stuck with me because obviously, as you know, I continued. And I started doing the whole MMA thing and whatnot. So I stayed in my competitiveness. And for me, I kept like the whole get yoked thing going. And it snowballed. And then I was just like, you know what? I need to do something with this. So came out with a little more stuff. And then up until recently, worked on the development of the pre-workout. And then I thought, the supplement thing would be the next thing. And like I said, the word get yoked itself, for me, it reminds me of Pellegrini. So passionate, motivated, whole 9 yards. So for me, the company represents my passions, my motivations, my everything. So I'm going to deliver something as just like, as he would when he was coaching us. So I'm kind of trying to, in a sense, bring that to the table and let people see that passion. As for the name Ironside, that has a lot of meaning to me. A lot of people, they always see me posting Ironside this, Ironside that, but like they don't know what it's from. But people are like, yeah, like Yodice, whatever. Bringing it way back, when I first got into wrestling, I started going to an off-season camp called Journey and All-Star. It was run by Jack Mignani and Clark Crespi. These two coaches, they like changed my life with a lot of things. Anybody from Kings Park, they know what they brought to the table. Just great human beings. I mean, they really are what elevated wrestling to just a lifestyle and just more than a sport for me. And I owe them everything. But when I was under their wing, a little side note, Jack Mignani wrestled for Dan Gable at Iowa. So, he was with some of the best. One of the moves that I learned there, it was called the Ironside. And it was a pinning combination from like a 2-on-1. You come out on top, circle, pinch the head, punch it over, kind of like a cement mixer. And I got really good at it. It was weird. Word Ironside, there's a guy named Mark Ironside. He's from Iowa. So I'm guessing that's where the connection is. But he brought it to Kings Park. So in my head, it was an Iowa-style Kings Park move, and then I was the random Comac kid that was doing it. So there's that. But my good friend at the time, Nick Weber, who I was really good friends with, me and him used to rip Ironsides all the time. We used to always pin people. I think my senior year, I think I had like 18 pins.
Oh, wow.
I can guarantee, like, I think 16 of them were like pins from Ironside. I got one pin. It was weird. I hit a Granby and the kid just whatever. But for the most part, always with Ironside. So for me, it just became like, this kind of like word of power, I guess, because every time I thought about it, I thought about, Journey Wrestling and everything. And my good friend Weber, when we used to always hit it, we would text each other, like send a video of it, the whole 9 yards. And as years passed, it just became, kind of just, it's hard because my friend Nick, he passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about that. And I did see something recently. I believe you posted that the man who responsible is now convicted and going to jail. Correct?
Yes, he was officially convicted and will serve 16 years in prison on several counts. So, at the end of the day, it doesn't bring him back, but at least there's some closure there. But just to attest with everything. So when I think of like Ironside, I think of my good friend Nick, and it became more than a move in my head because now when I think about it, I think about him, and I think about somebody who's very powerful, like energetic, somebody who would endure. So when I was trying to think of the name for a pre-workout, I was just shooting off the stupidest names in the world, like so dumb. Like worst idea ever. And then, one day I was just looking at something and I was just like, I thought of Nick, and I was thinking what a pre-workout does. It's supposed to be something, it gives you a feeling of power. It helps you endure, it gives you energy. And I was like, you know what? Like, this could be something, I'll, in, in memory, make it Ironside. It holds a lot of, memories personally. I'm very passionate about it. It means a lot to me. And I think it's fitting for the company because I look to give back. I dedicated my whole company to Nick. I wouldn't be who I am without him. And I thought it would be a great stepping stone because it's the first step of me transitioning the company. And I think it'd be a great representation. And I can kind of give people an idea of who he is. I speak all these words, but he really did have an impact on my life, and I want people to understand that, and I want to give them an idea of what he gave me, and hopefully I can motivate somebody else or provide, something to them.
Definitely. No, totally understandable, and I love the name of it. I think it definitely, when you hear Ironside, like you think of something strong and bold and something that's going to get the job done. So I definitely think it's fitting, which is awesome. So now, do you guys? You always see these giant tubs. Do you guys sell it in just this size, or do you sell it in those massive tubs too, or how do you guys sell in quantity?
Yeah, I mean, so for retail stores and whatnot, you could buy it by the case, which is just 12 units of this, which is 14.67 ounces. Starting out, obviously, I had to be realistic. Not a lot of 23-year-olds start a supplement company.
True that.
So, everything. I did everything by the books. I did everything correctly. That's why, a year and a half later, I have something to show for it. But I worked hard at it. I did everything myself, really. Actually, the label you're looking at, I created this label myself on Adobe Illustrator.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I went the I went the extra mile to teach myself how to do it. I'm very passionate, very driven. I have an image of what I want the company to, be represented from, and I want to be able to articulate how I feel and how I represent my company. I want to be the one to do it. So I was like, you know what? Got to teach myself how to do it, man. And I bought the Adobe Illustrator and the whole 9 yards over a year ago. I taught myself how to use it and did everything myself.
That's awesome, man. Because honestly, it looks professionally done. Obviously, it is. You're a professional at doing what you do, but it looks like it's done by someone who's went to school for it. That's their career, that designing and stuff. It's well done. It's like I was looking at it the other night, reading through it and all, checking it out. It's well done.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I put countless hours into this label, and any of my friends will tell you I probably pissed them off. It could be, it could be 5 in the afternoon. It could be 3 in the morning. I would send them the label, and sometimes I would send them a label 5 minutes later, and I just send it to them, and I would forget to tell them what I changed on it, and then it'd be like, oh, it looks the same. You sent it twice. I'm like, no, I did this little thing. I moved it over a little bit and whatnot. So I drove everybody crazy with it. Everybody that helped me, I can't say thank you enough. But I did want to take a second. I know I didn't touch upon it, but the actual ingredients and whatnot. One of my good friends, Alisina Halimi, he went to the university at Buffalo for biology and pharmacology.
Okay.
And he actually helped me put this together correctly. And he contributed a lot of what it is now. So I can, I thank him for everything he's helped me with along the way. And it wouldn't be what it is without him. So I just want to shout him out and say thank you. I actually wrestled with him on the high school team back in, Comac days. So he's a great kid. It's actually, there's a couple of houses down for me. So thank you, Ali.
That's awesome. Now, how can people find your product? Where is it on social media? Where is it online? How can they find it? And what stores are it in?
Yeah. So right now I can't announce the stores just yet because we're getting everything finalized. But what I can tell you is any of the social medias, you can follow me on Justin Yodice on Instagram or my private for just my close friends. I'm The Unraveling. And then the company page is Get Yoked _ Inc. INC. And they'll be able to follow in my bio. I have a link straight to the website, and that's getyoked.shop. And I just wanted to also say, I did create a discount code for anybody that watches your podcast or anything.
Awesome.
Carroll's Corner. They get 10% off at checkout. And if it's anybody that's a close friend of yours or whatever, I do have a local pickup. So if you did have friends that you wanted to hook up with, they can do that for free shipping, and I could just drop you off a big case of them or whatever, and help you out and help your friends out or whatever.
Awesome.
Anybody else, we can ship it to them.
Awesome, definitely, yeah, I appreciate that. We'll definitely put the code up and everything so people go check it out and purchase it if they want it. That's awesome. I appreciate you doing that.
No, I appreciate you taking the time to do all this.
Anything else you want to add about the company, about you getting back in the cage possibly? You said you're training with Keith Tremble, legendary coach here on Long Island. He's putting a lot of guys through to the UFC, Glory, boxing. He's all over the place. Any idea when you're getting back in the cage?
It's funny. I was supposed to fight I think 2 months ago or something, but one thing led to another. Kid said he was hurt or something. I don't know, probably whatever. So whole thing. But I've been training anywhere from 2 to 3 days a week just with Keith, doing privates and whatnot. I've been doing that for months. I haven't stopped training. I still do my jiu-jitsu. I still do my wrestling and everything. I'm in great shape. I've been putting in a lot of time into this. It's been a while since I got in, I was in the cage, and I'm not eager really to jump back in any second, because anybody who compares where I was 2 years ago to where I am now, I would not say I'm the same person, and I would hope whoever, doesn't look into what I was, because I've been trying to evolve everything. I've been working a lot with Keith. Keith's a beast, and even the people I'm training with, I've been training a lot with Ryan Grana. The kid's an animal.
Yeah.
Kid hits really hard. Like really hard.
Yeah.
But and then we have, like Cody Payne. We have some studs out there. And those are just, amateur fighters that will be pro soon. But I'm definitely I'm working towards it again. I'm in no rush, but I'm a perfectionist. I'll never be perfect, but I'm gonna get really close, and I'm gonna just make sure I am in the right place to do it. I really made it a focus to get my striking up to par with what I want it to be, because I don't believe in being one-dimensional. I made the jump to MMA to kind of bring my wrestling to the table, my jiu-jitsu, and then I want to show up with striking. I want to stand on the feet. I want to be comfortable everywhere. So me personally, I'm going to be in the cage when I am 100% comp. I am now, but like I said, I got some stuff going on. But I've been training with Keith, and it's honestly, it's up to Keith. I'm not. I actually have no say in it, to be honest.
Okay.
If he tells me he wants me to fight next week, gonna do my weight cut, I'm fighting next week. This is mostly up to him, and he knows that. And I know I'm in really good care with that. There's a reason why I go all the way out to Belmore for that.
Awesome. And being a wrestling coach, counties just took place this past weekend. States are coming up. Are you going to states? Do you have anyone wrestling in the state tournament? I know it's a crazy time of year for wrestling fans and coaches.
Oh yeah, no, I'm ecstatic. Comac is having a great showing, man. I don't know if you know Slackman, Joey Slackman.
I've heard of the name, but I don't know him.
Just won the counties. He's going up to states. Think he committed to UPenn.
Oh, awesome.
So this kid's a stud, man. He's gonna kick butt in states. But we had a great showing. We took 4th in the county, Comac. First time we've done that. And we're graduating. What?
That's a huge accomplishment.
Oh yeah, no, and I'm ecstatic because Slackman's like the only senior, so we're gonna have a bunch of studs next year, and like a bunch of killers, man. Stuff's gonna be awesome, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see. It's cool. Wrestling's funny because I feel like the longer I've been in it, the more I see it evolving. And like just when you think like it capped off, it just goes to a whole new level. You see the athleticism in these kids now and stuff. It's exciting.
Yeah,
It really is.
it's crazy. And even the rules changed a little bit. Couldn't take people down out of bounds. Now you can. There's a
The
lot more
point
wrestling
systems
all over
too.
the
Yeah.
mat. Yeah, it's definitely the sport itself is evolving, like you said, as well as the athletes. So it's making it that much more interesting. And then you see these guys on the NCAA level, and that's just
Mhm.
absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important though that they play around with those rules, just because. I mean, me personally, I think you're the same. I love wrestling. I think it's
Hmm.
so entertaining, but
Yep.
to other people, they might not necessarily find it entertaining. And I think, especially with the Olympics, they try to get rid of it. So
Yep.
the idea is that we need to make the sport more interesting, make it more appealing, as audiences. I know for me, I just had my middle school meet the other day. We're 2-0, so happy about that. But I've never seen as big as crowds as we have now on a middle school level and a high school level. I haven't seen as many people in the bleachers. I know when I was in high school, we filled up the bleachers, pretty solid, but like nothing like this. Like it's pandemonium. Like they're going nuts, even on a middle school level. So I mean, there's definitely more and more entertainment aspect of it. I think
Hmm.
because the crowds are coming.
Definitely.
I mean, the proof's in that.
Well,
More people watching it.
and whenever you have a good program, like Comax is like a good program right now. Whenever you have a quality wrestling, it's always that much more entertaining than anything. It goes for anything, but watching bad wrestling is very tough at times, even if you're a big fan of it. But high level wrestling, there's nothing better.
Oh, it's like poetry in motion. You
Yep.
watch like people like Mike D'Angelo, who came out of
Hmm.
Comac. He's at Princeton now. You watch him wrestle, you're just like, forget about it. When you're next level, technical, and you can just move, piece everything together. That's the beauty in it. When you
Hmm.
can switch off and just to bring it to that next level
All that
stuff.
chain wrestling. There's nothing like a quality chain wrestler.
Yeah, you watch Greg Gillespie from Belmore
Yep.
Kickboxing. You watch him in the cage. Whew, he brings wrestling to the table. The guy's a beast.
Yes, he
So I
does.
mean, that's. I mean, I definitely think that it's making waves. Definitely.
Awesome. Well, hey, congratulations on this company. Get Yoked. I'm glad to hear it's getting out there. You're starting to announce what store's coming up soon. Um, hey, good for you, man. This is awesome. Like you said, you're only 23 years old and you got a lot going for you already, and there's so much more ahead of you coming your way. So, congratulations. Anyone you want to shout out to, recognize, any partners or anything like that?
Yeah, my friend Ali. I just want to shout him out because without him, we wouldn't have this phenomenal formula. And I think it came out great, and he's a testament of that. All of his hard work and his studies and stuff, it really showed up. I need to thank all my coaches, especially Richard Pellegrini, as I mentioned before.
Hmm.
Without him, I wouldn't have the motivation to do half of this stuff, and I wouldn't be who I am as a person, as well as passionate I am in coaching, everything. My coaches over in Kings Park, Jack Mignani, Coach Crespi, um, Nick Weber, who's my constant motivation to just keep going, keep grinding, never give up, and do everything. My good friend Damian Morski, he's over here with me. Constant support, man, and I think that's what it's all about. It's hard to do things by yourself, as much as it looks
Hmm.
like. A lot of people, even on social media, I have the problem too. People always post their best moments. They never want to show you through your failures and all these things. And I lose a lot. I failed a lot. And I think it made me who I am. And my biggest takeaway, my friends kind of keep me on track with that. And without them, I wouldn't be who I am. And anything I do, whether it's my company, whether it's when I fight again, um, I'm directly correlated with them. I wouldn't have achieved anything with them. All my friends, my good friend Brandon Barnes, he's my wrestling partner back in high school. He's my MMA partner now. Um, just constant motivation, man. The days that I don't want to get out of bed, if I don't want to wake up early to go train, they'll drag me out. They'll keep me going. So just everybody. I mean, the list goes on and on. I could be here all day, but I just can't thank everybody enough, and I really do appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, Justin Yodice, I appreciate you hopping on, chatting with me on Carroll's Corner MMA podcast. I'm going to be posting this up on mymmanews.com in an article as well. It'll be on YouTube and all the social media that I got as well. So I appreciate, man, hopping on and chatting.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like I said before, I'd like to thank you. Without you, I mean, none of this would be possible. And just even 2 years ago, I mean, you wrote such a great article about me. It gave me a lot of exposure. Like over 100 people shared it and stuff. So a lot of
Oh,
people
awesome.
saw that stuff. So I want to thank you for that exposure. You have a great platform. You do a great job. I
Appreciate it.
love hearing you announce, and I love all the stuff you do. You know, you're a beast, and I can't thank you enough. So really like to thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate you. You know, everything you do, what you guys do, makes my job, my writing, and everything that much easier. So it's awesome. And once again, thank you for the product. Definitely enjoying it thus far. And yeah, we'll definitely share the code and make sure everyone gets to know it's out there.
100%. Thank you so much.
All right, have a good one, Justin.
Enjoy.